morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. It's Friday morning, and I've been up for a long time. So I'm quite energized. Yesterday, the turkey got to me. I laid down for a minute for a nap at 6 p.m. I woke up at 4:30 this morning, wide awake. My wife actually was nice. She slept on the couch, so that way she wouldn't wake me up if tried to come to bed. So yeah, man, it's we had a good turkey day ourselves, and it's been interesting. It's been an interesting morning thus far. I've been extremely productive. I came in here, obviously, the Christmas boxes. If you didn't order a Christmas box, well, missed your chance because we're not doing those anymore. Well, we are doing them, but they're just not available for sale because now we're going to start packaging them and getting them ready to go out the door. But that's exciting. Also, today is our big giveaway for another iPad. And the way you enter, and here's the best part, you just kind of got to type it in. So go to theangryturnup.com. You'll see a big yellow advertisement on the first page. Click on that, and it will lead you to a form. You just, agree. You put your name, your email, and agree that you may get some promotional emails from us in the future. And then, boom, you're entered. I think as of this morning, there were 83 people entered. So it's working. People are, people want an iPad, and it doesn't cost anything. You don't need to send Cash Apps or Venmos unless you want to, and then, because you're special. But yeah, it's been an interesting couple of days. There was a mass shooting the other day here in Virginia at a Walmart where a manager there went and opened fire and shot a bunch of people. President Biden did make kind of like a joint statement about that shooting combined with the Colorado shooting, where the shooter is now identifying as non-binary and goes by they, them pronouns. It's really weird, though, because anytime someone on the right criticizes people on the left that are non-binary and go by they, them pronouns, we are labeled as homophobic and transphobic and all these different things. But if someone on the left does it in order to say, well, this guy's just lying, he's not really non-binary or whatever, it's perfectly acceptable. And we've seen a lot of that happening in mainstream media because they're focusing on the Colorado shooting because they can tie that to, transphobic actions and violence against, transsexuals and all that, whatever the terminology is. It's the same thing. They were actually trying to do it a couple of days prior to this shooting. Remember, I actually addressed it because there was this news article that came out by NPR or something, and they said, what did they say? 39 trans people were killed across America in 2021. And I'm like, that's just like people that were killed. It doesn't mean they were killed because they were trans. No, it just means that they were killed, in an act of violence. They were murdered. And for some reason, they're like, well, we have the attack on the trans people has to stop, blah, 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 which rightfully so. The attack on everybody has to stop. But what I was pointing out when I brought that up during my shows is that why aren't they focusing on the fact that black people are getting killed every day in cities? White people are getting killed every day in cities. It doesn't, for some reason, this country seems so focused on lumping their narrative into a particular group. It's disturbing and yet kind of expected, which is sad. But that's just how it is. So there was that mass shooting in Colorado, which claimed the lives of 6 people, I believe, or 5 people. Then you have the mass shooting at the Walmart that claimed the lives of 6, plus the shooter. He took his own life after, and he was just a manager. There's videos of him, being fine online, and I don't know what happened. He broke, and he ended up killing a bunch of people. I think it was the day before Thanksgiving. I don't really remember. I know I didn't do a live stream, so we hadn't talked about it, which is why I'm talking about it now. President Biden did come out, and he's kind of reaffirmed that he is going to go after guns and ban assault rifles, and enough is enough, but they don't actually focus on the majority of the mass shootings that happen in the United States, which is kind of funny because this morning on the news, I was watching the news. They talked about how there's been 609, give or take, mass shootings across America so far in 2022. However, if you look into their coverage, they're not covering every mass shooting. It has to fit their narrative. It has to fit the narrative of some crazed white person that goes out and kills someone, or it has to fit the narrative of someone does it at a workplace in order for them to consider it a mass shooting. And it's disconcerting because they'll reference that number, the 600 plus number of people that die every year of mass shootings, but then they won't actually talk about the majority of those mass shootings. And when I say majority, out of the 609 mass shootings that were quoted on mainstream media, You guys could probably count on one hand. You could probably count on one hand how many mass shootings of the past year that you actually pay attention to. Sorry, I was reading something online. Phil on YouTube said, dude, that was dispelled. The shooter said that to miss a hate crime. That's not true at all. We don't, how do you know it was dispelled? Because the only people that, for one, that came out, I think on Thursday, or it came out on Wednesday, so before Thanksgiving, in court filings, that he goes by that. And there's been nobody that's disproven that except trans activists that are appearing online saying this guy's not binary. He wasn't even dressed like a woman, because apparently that's how you have to qualify being non-binary. I don't know. I think it's all stupid. Do I think that the guy's really trans or non-binary or whatever? No, I don't. I think it was a mental, nutcase that went out and shot up a club for whatever reason. But to say it was dispelled is completely bullshit. Unless we've seen an interview with his parent. You can't go off with the porn star dad said, because he's high on meth all the time. So, based on the interviews that I saw, he hasn't seen his kid since 2016, and he was very clearly on meth when he was giving an interview. That was the Colorado shooter's dad, who I guess used to be a porn star, or is a porn star, or something like that. I don't know. But, now they're going to try to revamp their going after guns and banning automatic weapons, or they say automatic weapons, but automatic weapons are already banned. What they're saying is, the semi-automatic assault rifles, even though there's no such thing as an assault rifle. It would be like going after cars. Like we have parade massacres where people are driving their cars through parades, right? They're not banning cars. It's the whole thing. Teenage drivers kill way more people than mass shootings across the United States every year. They're not looking to ban teenage drivers. You know what I mean? And we're talking about 4 times the amount of people, all people that are killed in mass shootings. Teenage drivers kill more than 4 times the total amount of victims that are killed in mass shootings every year. But they're not talking about it. In fact, what they're doing is they're putting teenage drivers behind the wheels of commercial motor vehicles. At 18 years old now, they could drive interstate, which is crazy. Speaking of truck drivers, many of you guys know there's this big blizzard in New York this week, right? Many of you guys know that they got 70 inches of snow in some places, and they closed all the roadways to commercial vehicles, and some places closed to all vehicle traffic. What many people didn't know is that there's been, it's always been one of the most important things in the trucking industry, where truckers are stranded, essentially, because they don't have enough parking. There's a parking issue within trucking, which is crazy. So, for example, I think there are about 8 million independent owner-operators across the United States. 8 million. So that's 8 million trucks. You know how many commercial parking spots there are in America? 300,000. So what do you think happened when they told all these tractor trailers in Buffalo that they're not allowed to travel on the interstates? They all tried to find parking. Unfortunately, the entire area of Buffalo, I actually did it this morning and surveyed 13 different truck stops in the Buffalo area, all the way up to Rochester. 469 truck parking spots out of that whole area, 469. Well, obviously, truck drivers weren't able to find safe places to park, so they were traversing through streets or pulling over in streets and getting stuck, or whatever the case is. So the New York Department of Transportation went to each truck that was pulled over, or each truck that was on the roadway, and hit them with out-of-service violations, placing them out of service and fining them upwards of $2,500 per truck. 414 trucks all received this fine and were placed out of service. Hey, I mean, that's really good for the New York taxpayers, because that's just over $1 million in fines that were levied against these trucks that are carrying all the needed supplies to you. And isn't it weird that right after that, they declare a national emergency, or a regional emergency, and they waive hours of service for certain truck drivers that are carrying fuel and things like that? They're now allowed to. Hey, I'm on the phone, or I'm live. Are you good? What? I'll call you back. Love you. Bye. I told her to call me for what? Pick a tree topper. What the fuck is a tree topper? You pick one. She's asking me what to go on top of our Christmas tree. Are you kidding me? Anyway, but yeah, so that's what's transpiring across America. Is truckers are always getting fucked. I mean, there's no other way to say it. The rising fuel costs through the roof, and they did. They actually waived hours of service for truck drivers that are carrying fuel in response to this hurricane or this nor'easter, whatever you want to call it, this blizzard. This freakish blizzard. They waive hours of service, meaning truck drivers no longer need to follow the hours of service that are set by the government in terms of how long they're allowed to drive, fatigued, and things like that. That they can now drive as much as they want in order to get the fuel to the locations. But if they get stranded, they're getting fined $2,500. It's outrageous, and everybody needs to pay attention to what is going on. Someone said a star. Yeah, she had a bunch of them. She apparently sent me a picture of it, but I'm live, so I wasn't paying attention. I figured that all the buzzing I heard was Cash Apps. I thought you guys were like, "Hey, Merry Christmas, Steve," but nope, that's not what it was. So it's interesting, man. It's kind of interesting when you pay attention to everything that's happening in the industry, and you would pay attention to the fact that rates are lower than low as shit in the trucking industry. And it seems like no matter how hard a truck driver works, there's so many obstacles that are just put in front of them. And this is just this snowstorm is one of the biggest ones that I could just quickly point out to you because it's insane. It truly is. It's insane. Sorry, I just saw something on my computer screen. I'm like, what is that? But that's my website. So again, Leanne said, got my Supreme Dark Coffee. So good. Thanks, Steve. Oh, you're welcome. And by the way, we're doing a Black Friday sale on gratiscafe.com. If you use code Black Friday, all uppercase, no space in between, you get 15% off your order. So go over there, order some coffee. If you order today, if we have it in stock, if you order like right now within the next hour, we'll pull it and ship it out today. Otherwise, it'll ship out early next week when I get the restock and get it all packaged. So you'll be drinking some of the best darn coffee you've ever had by the end of next week. So that's awesome. Garlic Press said, good morning, and don't forget Joe Biden used to be a truck driver. No, he wasn't. He wasn't a truck driver. He wasn't a lot of things like a president, but he is technically our president. Here's another thing I commented on social media, and it's kind of gotten a mixed response. I posted 2 years ago, the left was attacking the right in an effort to get some of the right kicked off of social media. And it appears that this morning, the right is attacking the left in an effort to get some of the left kicked off social media. And I just made a comment that they're all snitches because that's what they are. It's so stupid. This is what I was saying. No matter what party is in control in America, whether it's the right or left, we're going to do the same shit that they do. You know what I mean? So now people on Twitter, all these right, figures on Twitter are now highlighting all these leftists, and for some have valid reasons. Some are spouting violence and doing death threats and shit like that, which that breaks Twitter's terms of service. But this constant quest that we have in America to better up each other or to one up each other. So when left are in power, then the right is the one that is being victimized by the left's policies. Now, when the right is in power, the left is being victimized by the right's policies, and it continuously goes on and on and on and on. It's annoying. It really is. It's annoying, and it makes Twitter unenjoyable for me. Do you know what I mean? To see all these right figureheads that are like, oh, Elon Musk, you must ban this guy. You must do this. You must do that. You must do this. While single-handedly, vouching for free speech and saying, oh, we need free speech, when they're literally going out trying to stifle the speech of others because they disagree politically, which just 2 months ago they were, fighting against themselves because they were being censored. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It really doesn't. It doesn't make a lot of sense, yet they always do it. People, and I've talked about this hypocrisy, right? It's like the right boycotting a place, right? And the left is trying to force it and cancel it and shut it down. And then the right, when they boycott a place, says, well, we're not actually trying to shut it down. We're just trying to get people not to shop there, which in turn will shut the fucking business down. I've always hated that when people go out and they're like, oh, we're so much better than the left. We don't do the leftist tactics while doing the very same thing. It never made sense to me, but it's just something that's going to continuously happen, apparently. Julie said, a good point. She said, stop the stupid games and come together. Yeah, that's the only way we're going to be able to do anything. Oh my God. Look at that. I got a $10 Venmo. Thank you. Paying for the star, she said. Thank you, Deborah. But yeah, that's basically it, man. It's we just live in a weird society, and now everything is going to be even crazier because we have Twitter. The right has Twitter because Elon Musk is apparently on the right now. That's how everyone views it. I don't think he's on the right. I think he's a guy that just truly gives a shit about freedom of speech, and he believes that, freedom. If like he made a statement once, and I'm gonna say it wrong, call it like a horrible paraphrase, but he basically said, if you see a comment on Twitter that sets you off, that pisses you off, that is free speech. You know what I mean? If you act to try to get that person removed or canceled or whatever, then you are stifling free speech. You are literally being a fascist by definition. And the left has been long standing in doing that and going after people. There's this whole account on Twitter where they're trying to go after the advertising of like Steve Bannon, of any of these conservatives. They target them and they go after and they call their advertisers, while claiming that the people that they're going after are fascists. And I'm like, you don't understand that what you are doing is fascist. You are saying, well, you shouldn't spend your advertising dollars over here because we disagree with what they're saying, which is fascism. That's the same thing as saying, this person shouldn't be allowed on a platform because they're saying something I disagree with. And I just hate it. I hate it. And people on the right have been doing it for a long time, acting like it's reactionary to the left. Doesn't matter if it's reactionary or not. If someone else jumped off a bridge, would you do it? Like it's a lot of it basically goes down to like what you learn in the first and second grade. And I understand there's a lot of things that when you're in school, you're like, I'm never going to use algebra in adult life. There's some things that you should recognize that you're going to use, like treat others how you want to be treated, like those kind of things, like the very simple statements that that you learn in like second grade, that apparently by the time you're 18, 19, 30, 40, 50 years old, you just throw out and it no longer matters. It's really weird, man. It's really weird. Alyssa Azar has been smashing up Adidas store for sponsoring World Cup. Yeah, they're all doing the same thing. All the beer companies, too, are going after the Saudi Arabia and suing them because they're not allowing beer. Yeah, like, who fucking cares? It's fucking soccer anyway. Who's really watching soccer? I probably will watch soccer today and hope that the United States beats England, but that's at like 2:00. But I don't really care that much about soccer anyway. But a lot of people do. Robert said, it appears now people with conservative power are ready to beat the donkeys at their own game, and it's way past due. Yeah, but again, what you just said is the case in point of what I'm saying. Because you're saying, well, now we could beat them at their own game. We can resort to their level. We always said we're above them in the first place, and they resorted to, taking people off at the knees, and now we're in power, so we'll do it, and we're not the same as them because we are conservative. Fuck that. You are the same as them. If you go to cancel people because of their political ideology, because you disagree with them, it doesn't matter whether you're on the right or left. You're still doing the same thing that you combated and fought against for years and years and years. I've never understood it. I've never understood it. You know what I mean? And I've been calling that out for a long time, and people would always get mad at me and they'd be like, boycotting is not the same thing as canceling. And I'm like, it is to me. It is to me. Because if you call for someone not to shop at a certain place, it's the same as calling for people to, riot and shut down a business, which is the same thing the left did to the right and the right does to the left now. And it's stupid. You know what I mean? It just really is. Everyone needs to grow the F up is what I'm saying. That's my belief. Someone said, F on to others what they do to you, F on. I don't know what that means. Someone else said, we need justice. If not, they will do it again, fighting communism. What? Someone said, it takes cunning to win and then change the rules, Steve. You guys, oh my gosh. See, this is why people on the right have a bad reputation, because it's comments like these that I see in the chat that are just, it shows that you are the same as a leftist. You're doing the same, resorting to the same tactics that they use in an effort to try to make this country better. If here's the thing, if the left resorts to negative tactics and the people on the right say they're destroying their country, when the right literally uses those same tactics to go back after the left, you think instead they're restoring the country, even though they're using the same exact tactics that they did, that the left has done? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But Someone said choosing not to spend your money at a business is not the same as protesting in front of the store. Yes, it is. It absolutely 100% is. 100% is. Because you are protesting by not spending your money at that store. It's the same exact thing. And I'm not saying, and that's freedom of speech in effect as well. I just think it's stupid. I think it's stupid to boycott an individual store because I don't know. It's just weird, man. It's weird, you know? And I disagree. I disagree with the fact that it's not cancellation or it's not censorship or whatever the fuck you want to call it, cancel culture, when the right boycotts a store and urges people not to use money there. It is literally the same thing as going out and protesting. And then the closed-mindedness is like Cheryl here saying, have you gone left? No, because I'm speaking with a rational mind. People, it's the same, like what you just did, Cheryl, is a perfect example of why I'm even talking about this. Because you say, because you have a view that's different than mine, you insult me and say that I'm on the left now. And my view doesn't align with the left because the left is doing what the right is doing. So I'm in the middle, truthfully. I'm in the middle because the left is canceling the right and the right is canceling the left. And I'm saying you're both fucking stupid. Do you know what I mean? So it's crazy. It's crazy that so many people just can't get it. And I've been saying this for a long time. It's not like today is an all new thing. I've been saying it for a long time. Someone said, what about Oreos? Yeah, I still eat Oreos. For a while I didn't eat them, but that also could be because it was making my shit dark. You know what I mean? I could have said on the air, it's because I don't even remember why I wasn't eating Oreos for a long time. And I'm not perfect. I could be hypocritical by saying, talking about something now that I didn't do 2 months ago. I now have places that I won't go shop because of their political beliefs. Like it doesn't, I'm not saying that I just follow what I'm saying 100%. No. If I see certain things displayed in businesses, I choose not to eat there. Do I call that cancel culture? No, because I'm not calling for you to go out and do it. I make my own determination. Do you know what I mean? So if I make a determination that I'm not going to go support a shop, that's different than me taking on and going on my massive social media platform and saying, I'm no longer going to shop here. You shouldn't either. If you can't see the difference between those things, I don't know. You know what I mean? Someone said, would you shop at a store if he was a pedophile? No, because my personal belief is that pedophiles need to die. So, and I don't know how you even brought pedophiles into this conversation because that has nothing to do with anything I'm talking about. Corey said, my point exactly. Listen to yourself. Again, you guys, the people in the chat, some of them are not being able to follow what I'm saying. If the right is calling for a cancellation of the left, like if I make a choice not to go to a business myself, a private choice, right? If I make a choice not to go to a business because they have, some, like, let's say a sign in the door said, defund police. If I make a decision not to go to that business and not to not go to that business because that sign personally offends me, that's one thing. But if I then go on social media and recommend to all of you not to go to that business, that's an attempt to cancel that business. That's that going online and posting it out, trying to get everybody not to shop there is the same thing the left does when they go out and protest, holding signs, doing the very same thing. What is the difference of someone putting something on Twitter versus someone having the same message on a sign in front of the store? Do you know what I mean? Someone said, so Aldi's for me instead of Wally World. What are you talking about? I don't like Aldi because the food sucks. It's all like store brand food. That's why I don't like it. Phil said, don't you have a child that would benefit from healthcare? Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about there. Someone said, I don't agree with the cancel culture, but I can choose not to spend my money. Exactly. Someone else said, they hear you, they don't want to understand. Yeah, because a lot of people look for just the negative in the statement. You want to say, oh, because Steve is saying something that may make sense, but I've been taught that I need to disagree with Steve, so I'm just going to call him a leftist. Or, say he's becoming more and more left. You know how many times I hear that? Why? Because I think with a rational thought and I don't conform to the ideals of the right or left. So I must be a left. It's crazy. Someone else said, I don't understand how people don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. Someone said the right didn't cause $2 billion in damage and death. Neither did the left. They caused billions, multiple billions of damage. And so what? So what? We can fight against that. Like if you want to go after those companies, the people that sponsor that, the Soros and the Black Lives Matter and those movements, and help restore. But that's not what anyone's doing. Now we're attacking the left in the same way they're attacking the right, except we're not out there rioting in the streets and all that stuff. But we're doing the same thing on social media, canceling people off of platforms and doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Someone said, Steve, wrong about all these. Look closer. I'm not going to look closer. I don't like Aldi's because the food sucks. The food is literally store brand food. That's what it tastes like. So we don't shop there. I hate shopping there because Aldi's, personally, to me, tastes like shit. So, and everyone's like, you're wrong about Aldi. Look closer. Look closer. What? I think it tastes like shit. We don't shop there. Are you thinking, oh, because it's a German company or some shit like that? I don't care. Someone else, Phil is talking about my child and surgery as if that has some sort of correlation to anything I've talked about at all. Second time you've done that, Phil. And unless you want to make a whole statement on how that makes any sense to this conversation, keep doing it. But if you're just trying to reference my child repeatedly in this live stream, my mods will take care of you very quickly. Because he, just like every other, working class American, I pay for health insurance for my kids. And we're still getting a $6,000 bill that I'm going to have to pay for. So I'm not quite sure where he's going with that. I'm very confused. Now I'm curious to see what Phil has to say and why he keeps bringing up my kid having surgery into a conversation about cancel culture. Oh, yeah. Kate said, did you see the Kanye West video or read an article of what he said? It's on Twitter. Other than him running for president, I haven't heard anything else. Someone said, I will shop anywhere since the country is made up of left, right, and middle. Who is who? Yeah, I don't know. But if you want to shop somewhere great and have amazing coffee, go to cafegratis.com and you can pick up some of our coffee. It's amazing. It literally is the best coffee. And I'll make a challenge. If you don't like the coffee, send me an email. I'll refund your money. You got to send back the coffee. Like you got to actually prove, you don't have to send it back, but you got to prove that you actually made it and you didn't like it, because no one's going to say that. See, Ryan's not saying anything, or Phil's not saying anything unless someone said, how much debt am I in? What? Because of the medical side? $6,000. $6,000 because we have insurance. We have copays, but the insurance, we're going to have to fight with them because they're not going to pay. So it's like $6,200. I'm in debt, but you know what? My kid is happy. He has teeth. And we're fortunate enough. Can I drop $6,000 to pay his medical bills all at once? No. And we're having a serious conversation saying, well, if our medical insurance isn't going to cover for a surgery and we're still paying $700 a month for it, let's just cancel that, put that $700 a month in a savings account, and then boom, we have our own health insurance. Do you know what I mean? So, but we don't have medical debt. We don't have a lot of debt. In fact, we have our cars. That's it. Medical debt, like we just got a bill, I just paid a bill this morning, $75. That was our copay. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not sure. Do we have medical debt in the tens of thousands of dollars? No. But what does that, Phil, have anything to do with what we talked about thus far? Not a fucking thing. That's the funny thing is that people. That's a really good point, Phil, what you just made, because I'm assuming you're on the left and you're advocating for like free healthcare and shit like that. That's only what I can assume because your stupid comments. But that shows the disconnect from reality that some people are, is that I make a statement about cancel culture and how the right is appearing to do the same thing as the left in terms of getting people banned and censored and things. And someone says, well, I can't attack what he's saying because it's logical. So let's just bring up another point that has nothing to do with our current conversation and see if we can rile him up that way. And it didn't work. You know? Someone said, if you don't realize you are attempting to beat them at their own game, you are fooling yourself, Steve. Listen to you. Nothing wrong with that. What? What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. I think some people are just stupid. Like, and I don't mean that as an insult. I think some people are stupid to not, that's not the right, naive? No, because naive would mean you don't know what you're doing, right? Isn't that what naive is? Willfully ignorant. Is that a better stating? You know, willfully ignorant, because they want so much to believe in their way of thinking. When anyone has a dissenting view, it's obviously it's no matter how valid that is, they just can't do it. And we have several people in the chat, which is crazy. Erdem said dental isn't covered in major medical. It should be when it's a medical necessity. And that's the problem that we're going to have with the insurance company is the doctor, the dental doctor, plus she's an MD as well. She's the one that did the surgery, said it was a medical necessity because he freaks out under, you know what I mean? Phil said, again, sorry I cared about your kid. You didn't. Okay. You didn't. And a lot of what people do, Phil, you're probably one of the same. You try to bring a kid into the conversation, specifically my kid or the speaker's kid, in an effort to get that person riled up. It didn't really work because you didn't make any sense. You know, I'm the kind of person like Phil, you probably believe that I need to pay your student loans as well, or that I need to pay for your medical care because I can afford to pay my medical care. And, you know, you're probably one of those guys, which doesn't make a lot of sense because I will never agree to pay your student loans. But yeah. Someone said, I really rarely tell anyone to shut up, but really now. Yeah. Yeah. Someone said, hey, Steve, do you have Kopi low whack beans? Nope, I don't. Someone else said, I think he got to you. No, because a lot of times what I try to do is I try to figure out what people are talking about. So I was trying to understand how Phil's bringing up my child's medical bills fits into a conversation that we're having about cancel culture or boycotting businesses or canceling other people because of speech. And I can't, maybe he was trying to make a point by saying that we would just ban him, but that's different because he keeps like talking about my kid, which is weird. And especially with people that are aligned with the left, they have weird values when it comes to kids. So it's a little concerning when someone that appears to be on the left speaks about a child. Just, you know what I mean? Generally, it's just a little concerning, right? And I could go further into that, Phil, you know, but I don't want to. What's a website for CBD? It's just cbdstore.com. Use code citizen20. Citizen20. Someone said, good don't work with the left. You must use rules to your benefit. I don't know. And here's the thing, and I'm gonna make a summary judgment. I can say that a lot of the people that are not hearing what I'm saying are the people that just want chaos. You know what I mean? And they're probably the people that are the most silent. Sure, you're active on social media, you're posting a lot under pseudonyms and fake names, but what are you actually doing to better America? Robert, are you sitting on a city council meeting right now? Are you a clerk of the court? Are you, running for office? Are you a political, speaker? Are you going out and trying to do something to change what's happening in this country? Or instead, are you on YouTube just, you know what I mean? And that's the thing. And a lot of people could say, Steve, what are you doing? Well, right now it's Friday, 9:56 a.m. And I'm speaking to hundreds of people right now, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on in this country. And to be honest, I was just going to do a news show, but I'm kind of having fun interacting with the chat a little bit. Someone said, Von Michelle said, oh, I'm finding a lot of psychos on this side, lots of the so-called right conservatives stalking you and threatening you because of fighting pedos on their simps. Yeah, I don't care. I've seen your name in some of the chats too. I think you're just annoying. You know what I mean? I think you're just annoying. But yeah, people, I don't know why the conversation keeps coming to pedophiles. Like every other fucking comment, someone's making a comment about pedophiles, which is starting to get on my nerves, especially when people are talking about my kids. It's just weird. Like Von Michelle, one of my mods, just get rid of that person too. I think they're a troll. You know what I mean? So just get rid of that person too, one of my YouTube mods. Truth is the Light said, ye done lost his mind. Yeah, I didn't read any statements. Von Michelle said, I'm annoying, but my 7 was okay when you're a founding member. Yeah, okay, well, you were a founding member, but somehow you lost your way and you now became some sort of weirdo that's in my chat and all the other chats just being annoying. It's not helpful. It's not, and here's the thing, like this is part of the reason why I did the name change and then switched it back is because I wanted to get rid of the people that are being closed-minded all the time. People that can't find a little bit of humor when I'm talking with the sound effect thing. People that can't just relax and enjoy time. People that just can't do it. I hate that kind of person. You know what I mean? For 2 years, we covered the worst aspects of America, the rioting and the chaos that happened all over the country for 2 years nonstop. And now the tide seems to be changing. Republicans are starting to, stand up, not necessarily, winning the House and things like that. The censorship seems to be dying down a little bit. And now what I've seen is the same trend where you see the left, where the left was going up and having more power and possession and things like that, causing the riots. I'm seeing the right do the very same thing now, where they're canceling out the left, where they're doing this, calling for boycotts, all that same shit. And to me, I'm seeing that. And I want to shut it down. I don't want that kind of conversation. I want people that truly care about America and are looking for a way to fix it, or looking for ideas, or are willing to put forth those ideas. I don't want negative people all the time in the chat. And I don't think that's too outrageous. You know what I mean? I don't think that's too outrageous. Phil said, you just like to hear what you say back to you. I don't actually. I like opinion, but what you're doing is what you were doing was trying to bring in a conversation that had nothing to do with what we're talking about now. If you want to have a conversation sometime about medical expenses, we can do that if you want. Before I had health insurance, it took me probably 10 years to pay off the surgeries that I had and all that stuff, but we did it. We had to. That's part of being an American. That's part of being a citizen, is paying your dues and paying your bills and doing all that stuff. And you have to. And at least now hospitals are a little bit better than what they used to be, because hospitals back then, they didn't offer like 50% discounts if you paid cash and all that shit like they do now. Half of the time when I go to the hospital to do a checkup, my copay is like $70 unless I do cash. And then the whole thing is like $60. So I'd rather just pay it in cash. You know how many times we do that all the time? It's crazy, man. It's just being an adult. There's an equal and opposite reaction for everything, Steve. Ye did an interview with Daily Beast Moron. Did he? He did an interview with Zachary Patrizio. That's funny. Someone said, how would I fix the medical system? I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't believe that I have an obligation to take care of your medical bills. I don't. I never will. So on that premise, I don't believe in universal health care, because at that point, I'm taking care of people that aren't going out and working, or aren't going out and trying to succeed in life. I don't believe in it. But I also believe there should be a cap on drugs and services, like $6,000 for my son to be put out for an hour. And that's including the dental benefit of 1,700 and shit. So that altogether, $10,000 for something that took them literally 40 minutes. It's insane. There should be no, when we used to bill, or not me, but when I was a firefighter and we bill people for the ambulance transports, sometimes it was like $700-800 for 2 miles down the road, not even using drugs. It's fucking insane. So I think those need to come down, but I don't believe that Americans should be paying other Americans' bills. I just don't. Phil said it should be free for all, but it's actually not free. So you got to understand that you can't have things for free without paying for them. Because if free Medicare for all or healthcare for all isn't actually free, it means your taxes go up to pay that burden. And the people that make more money than you, or the people that make more money than others, end up having to pay more for the healthcare. So saying free healthcare, it's not actually free. You actually would probably spend more than you would now with healthcare. Phil said, so you don't believe in taking care of your fellow man? No, I don't believe in I don't believe in welfare either. Because welfare has been abused. So that's a different one. Do I believe in taking care of our fellow man? To a certain extent. I believe in propping up our fellow man so they can take care of themselves. Do I believe in supporting our fellow man? Fuck no. No, absolutely not. But I believe in propping them up, giving them enough footing so that they are able to be a productive member of society themselves. Do you know what I mean? So, but in terms of paying for other people for the rest of their life, fuck no. And anyone that wants to challenge that, I probably donate more to charity than anyone in this chat every year. and so, but I don't donate to like when I see homeless people out. And I gave this scenario the other day when I was leaving Food Lion. There's a homeless guy out there and he had his kid and his wife. I pulled over. He had a sign saying he was homeless and he needed a job. I pulled over and I offered him a job in the coffee shop. I offered him a job to work, to be a productive member of society. And he gave me every excuse in the book. And he's like, I just need money, blah, blah, blah. And so I left and I didn't give him shit. And he's out there every day with his entire family. And he's probably making more money than me because I see all the time people are stopping and just giving him handouts. That's what our welfare system is. It's handouts. And if you keep doing that, when you present them with an opportunity to better themselves and it doesn't work, or they don't want it because they're getting everything they need without having to do anything, that's why we're in the mess we are. Phil said, prove it. Phil, you must be new here, bud. And you're starting to get on my nerves. So you must be new here, though. I don't need to prove any more of what I've already done. Because normally when I donate, I post it anyway. So most people will already know that I donate insane amounts of money. Too much. Watch with Wayne said, I donate a lot. Steve, don't know about that. Well, yeah. That's great. I'm glad. Hopefully you donate more. Someone said, does Phil not understand that someone had to pay for the specialized staff that is caring for them? Yeah, I don't know. Yorkshire Bank Camp said, do you people prefer to pay health insurance or would you prefer the NHS system like we have in the UK? I don't know how that works. I don't know what their system is. And I don't know how a system would work here, except that they would have to raise taxes. There would be no other way to fund it. They would have to raise taxes. Do you know what I mean? They would have to raise taxes. Brad Hopkins said, prove it. Yeah, there's probably a lot of people that would love to have me stop donating so much money because then there'd be more profit in some of this shit we do. But yeah, hopefully 1,000 milligrams is enough for back pain. Yeah, it is. You know, 1,000. What I take, because you're not actually getting 1,000 milligrams of CBD. You're getting 1,000 milligrams of the container. Each one is 10 milligrams with the CBD rings. And that's enough. I mean, it helps with my knees. I'm out of it now. I got to buy more, but it helps with my knees. Like yesterday, I was playing basketball with my kids and all the neighborhood kids because it started with a family game of basketball out front. And then before we knew it, there was all these little kids. And I'll be honest, I was like posterizing my kids and my wife. I was dunking on them and shit, you know, because the hoop was at like I could literally touch the hoop. So it must have been like 8 foot. I was dunking. I did one of these like behind the legs and dunked. Whoo, or under the legs. Yeah. Do I have a problem with taxes? Yeah, I pay entirely too much taxes as it is. And as I make more money, I end up paying more and more and more. And it sucks. Do I have a problem with taxes? 100%. Because our tax dollars are getting sent to Ukraine. Our tax dollars are getting sent to Pakistan. Our tax dollars are getting sent everywhere else but here in the United States where they're needed. If our tax dollars went to fund, like say, to get people off of drugs, to end homelessness, shit like that, all the like liberal talking, I'd be on board with that 100%. But instead, they take my tax paying dollars and they send it over to Ukraine so they could, have a big war with Russia. It's fucking stupid. You know? Bum, bum, bum. Someone said he proved that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Are you talking about someone else? Phil said you're hanging out with too many kids. Sus. All right, YouTube mods, get rid of Phil. Fucking scumbag. You were doing all right. You were staying like, nah, you weren't being all right. You were still being a shithead. So I can't really say. I was gonna say you're being all right, but no, you're not. You were being a shithead the whole time, just getting, just trying to get banned. So there, I'll ban you because I'm playing basketball with my kids. You shithead. Oh my god, I hate some people. But it's becoming survival of the fittest. Money can't last forever and means nothing if you have needs. The country will eat itself from within. Someone said, possibly. Someone said he deleted his comment. So go back in his chat and ban him. Whoever my YouTube mods are, just find him and ban him. Someone said I've used good RX in the past. In particular, medication they would not cover. The cost was insurmountable. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Deborah said I was talking about Phil. Yeah. Yeah, he's just they and people come in here and here's the thing. I don't mind people that have a different point of view, obviously. But when you're just trying to be stupid, there's no reason to be in here. You know what I mean? There really isn't. Because here's the thing, opinions are like assholes. Literally everyone has one. Some people's opinions align, other people's don't. Mine typically, and I've noticed that mine don't necessarily align with a lot of the viewers here, but yet they still come here because at least I'm being honest. You know, you may disagree with what I have to say, but you know that by watching it, you're getting honest information. And I think that's why a lot of people watch this. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, especially people on the right. I don't think a lot of people on the right align with my way of thinking all the time because I'm not like super far right. I don't think we're on the verge of a civil war or any of that shit. Mind you, there was a little bit that I did. And I still think if they indict and arrest Donald Trump, shit's going to hit the fan like crazy. But we'll talk about that a different time. But I don't know. It's funny. Someone said, I'm hearing we're having a shortage of the antibiotics amoxicillin specifically. Yeah, I heard that a little bit too because all the RSV and stuff like that, right? They say we don't want to get involved with the Ukraine, Russia, but here we are involved financially. Yeah, okay, might as well get involved completely and shut down the war. Yeah. Us getting involved completely will not shut down the war between Ukraine and Russia. Anyone who thinks that is just you're insane. What that'll do is it'll put the lives of every single American living here in dire straits. I don't think we should have anything to do with the shit going on between Russia and Ukraine. Not a bit. Not even a minute of it. We shouldn't be providing material support to Ukraine because keep in mind, just 2 years ago, we had laws in place that we weren't funding, certain regiments of the Ukrainian military in Congress. But that's all out the window now. And they literally deleted articles about the Azov battalion from these news outlets because they were like, well, how can we justify it now when we were against it 2 years ago? I don't know. Someone said, what's going to happen when there's no more money? They're giving it all to other countries. What's everyone going to do then? We're going to pay more in taxes. That's what's going to end up happening. It's going to happen all the time. Next year, they're going to go and raise more taxes. Again, there's going to be a greater deficit. Everyone's going to have to do it. Look at what they're doing now. Taxes are going to go up. They already are going up for everybody. Even though he says, oh, the taxes aren't going up for the bottom 40%. Nah, he's full of shit. The taxes are going to go up on everybody else because when you tax a big corporation, when you tax the rich people, they are going to increase their, margins on products, and we're going to end up paying more. It's called them. That's one of the reasons why inflation is through the roof, but nobody understands that. But yeah, like someone said, find a chicken. And then you'll have tons of eggs and you can weather the poverty storm. Someone said we should be helping Russia. I don't agree with that either. We shouldn't be dealing with any of that, Russia or Ukraine. We shouldn't be supporting anyone. I'm not pro-Russia, nor am I pro-Ukraine. I'm pro-America. Hard concept to understand. And no matter what, no matter how many times people try to explain how the United States benefits by supporting Ukraine, it doesn't make any sense. 100% markups for your company due to inflation. They have to. I mean, here's the thing is like, if you look at my coffee prices versus some of the other specialty coffee companies online, you'll notice that my coffee prices stayed the same. We haven't raised our coffee price, even though like today, I just placed another order for restock. And now the one medium house roast, I'm paying close to $12 a pound for that. $12 a pound. So I've had it at the same price since we started. That price used to be $8 per pound, but it's just going up and up, just like everything else. It is what it is, man. But I don't want to raise the price all the time. And that's why it's important for you guys to go to those stores and support us, especially if we're doing Black Friday sales like we are on gratiscafe.com. Hint, hint, go there. Use code Black Friday and get 20% off or 15% off. Sorry. Also, that code is also valid on theangryturnup.com. You got it's for some reason, something's not working right with the website. So you have to type in the entire web address, theangryturnip.com. And you'll see on the main page, if you want a chance to win an iPad tonight, when I do my show tonight, all you have to do, click on that yellow box that you'll see on the main page and just fill out the form. It doesn't, you don't have to purchase anything. No purchase is necessary. We're just giving away an iPad because we like to. And then you'll be added to our mailing list for when we do that. But I also added a bunch of different shirts and hoodies and things on that website as well, on theangryturnip.com. And if you use code Black Friday, you'll get 15% off there as well. And that's the best way to support us and what I do. But yeah, theangryturnip.com. It's not Angry Turnip. Someone already has that. I guess it's like a graphic designer or a hacker or something like that. He's already got that website, but it's theangryturnip.com. So if you go over to that website, you can sign up for the free coffee or free iPad giveaway that we're doing today. But you could also buy a t-shirt. You could buy, something else. You can't get the Christmas box anymore. That's all done. But it's the best way to support us. I still have I have 2 medium t-shirt bags that are ready if people want those, but they're medium only. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for our day show. It was, I kind of went off on a tangent there. I didn't mean to talk that much. Holy shit, that was an hour. But I will be live tonight around 7 or 8 o'clock. And then we'll talk more in detail about this. I would do a call-in show, but I hate call-in shows. So I don't know. I mean, I could bring people in like through a virtual green room and do that, but I don't necessarily want to do that either. Maybe we'll just do more chat interaction and talk about everything. Katniss said, when is the Christmas box shipping out? Just like it said on the post, it'll ship out before December 15th. On or before December 15th. That's what it said on the post. And when you guys all placed your orders. So, but yeah, that's why you can't order it anymore, because now I have to start putting everything together. I want to have everything together by December 10th, so that way my wife can come in here and gift wrap all the boxes. But yeah, I appreciate I think I got 1 or 2 Cash Apps or Venmos. Nope, just 1. But I appreciate you guys. Anyone who did super chats that I missed, I don't think so. I appreciate that. And just, continue to support it, and I'll continue to be here every day. All right. Until next time, until 8 o'clock tonight. We'll see you later. Bye.